Hello, life people. Hello, replayers. Welcome to 60 minutes of Pincha play. So for me, 60 minutes gives me anxiety. It's not a lot of time, so I want to get started right away. What are we doing here today? Pincha. What is Pincha? The forearm balance. So I feel like Pincha just doesn't get a lot of love like handstands do. I think kind of like it's like the stepsister to the handstand that people just don't love as much. Hi, Mona. And it's a great arm balance. For me, it feels similar yet different in the handstand. And if you ever do have wrist pain or your wrists tend to get tired with handstand, it's really nice to have an alternative so your body can continue to understand what it is you're asking for of it. So I want to start off by look on the left at my board with similarities between Pincha and a handstand because a lot of you are more familiar with the handstand. So you can start to notice, okay, it's similar, yet it's slightly different. And since this is a visual practice, I'm a visual person, I'm just going to start off with some demos. So when I get going, we can get on the same page. So on the board, the first thing that I have is center of gravity. Let's just look at a handstand. A handstand is a straight arm movement, right? And it's an engagement of the tricep. So if you're doing a handstand, I cut off my feet, I'm going up with straight arms. Now, right away, you can see my center of gravity here. It's different in a forearm balance than Pincha, which we're going to be doing today because you're closer to the floor. So our handstand is a straight arm movement. Pincha is obviously a bent arm movement. Now, let's just do one. My center of gravity here is very different. I'm much closer to the ground, which could be good for some people. Like if you have fear of falling out of a handstand, Pincha, you're closer to the ground. It may feel slightly safer for you. So bent versus straight, that's the biggest, obviously, difference. Then the next obstacle you're going to have are tight shoulders. In a handstand, and some of this you can do with me if you want, but I think if you're not able to take your hands up in line with the shoulders and your shoulders to yours without, and just do this for fun, popping out your ribs, it's going to be hard to do a handstand, right? Because you want, do it with me, just engage your butt, pull the navel to the spine, and ribs inwards. You want the front of the body to pull into the back. And now you can release. This is a huge problem for most people. So if you have tight shoulders and do a handstand, what does it usually look like? A collapsement somewhere here, especially if the gaze is forward. So we'll cover gaze later. You could lower the gaze, but you need some space in the shoulders. So something I suggest in handstands is turning your hands out a bit. Usually if your third finger faces the front of the mat, you could do this. Just turning it out so your index finger faces the front of the mat, especially for my male students, a lot of the times this gives you space in your shoulders. So in a forearm balance, you're closer to the floor. So if you have tight shoulders, like from hip to armpit and no space here, it's gonna show up even more because the center of gravity is closer. So this is what I mean. When I see people lack space there, they end up doing this to their elbows. And then it becomes more like a face plant, right? And then there you are. So we'll talk about hand positioning in a second to help you, but let's do this together. Take your hands to your elbows. So this is like the most common one that you know of in yoga. And then from here, you'd want to take your hands, shoulders, elbows in the same line. So just sit and now start to push your forearms because that's what's touching the floor towards an imaginary wall. So again, the front of the body should pull towards the back. So in both the collarbones, they close up. Okay, and then think of your elbows, like literally you could pull them towards one another and you can begin to see and you should see the engagement. So this is me not engaged. This is me pushing towards imaginary wall. Do with me. Do you see this? And I talk about armpits a lot, the armpit hollows, if you've done my workshops in the past. And now you don't want this. So think of the elbows pulling down towards one another and notice the engagement. Okay. So a handstand, and I mean, I'm shaking, straight arm. I'm pushing into an imaginary wall, same armpit, but notice this, the tricep. And this is stuff you can do after class with yourself in a mirror. Now here, I'm gonna show it from this angle. Notice the engagement. I'm pulling my elbows down. Do you see this? It's a bent arm movement. I could do a whole workshop just on this. So the thing is, a lot of times people in handstands or press handstands are like, my shoulders are weak. It's a straight movement, right? But the opposite muscle of that, bent arm. So this is why, can you do this? It would help you to do both handstands and forearm balance. Cool? So I hope we're on the same page so far of that. So the last thing of this that both do, and this is where we'll start class once we warm up, is the stacking. Let's look at it in a handstand because you're more familiar. So we know it's a straight arm movement, and we know just here you push out of the floor. So the triceps engage, the front of the body pulls to the back. So stacking is hips over shoulders, shoulders over wrists. So a lot of times people will handstand from back here. See how the shoulders are not over the wrists, they're behind. So then they're like, why can't I go up? Because you're literally throwing your handstand away, okay? So you have to think, can I get the hips over the shoulders over the wrist, and then kick up or press or whatever you wish. In Pincha, you guys, it's the exact same thing, hips over shoulders, shoulders over elbows. So then you see people do the same mistake, go from back here. And they're like, why am I not going up? You didn't stack. You didn't do this action. So now you could go up. But here's the thing, back here, and we'll do it today, you're not gonna feel a lot. But the more you walk in, the easier it is to collapse, for the elbows to go out, for you just to go towards the floor. So those are the things that you're gonna have to look at. If you're not going up, are you stacking forward? But when you're stacking, and this is a press, you have the ability to push the ground away and to keep the arms, whether here or here, how they are. So that's a strength issue, okay? So you have to look, is my obstacle on my shoulder strength or flexibility? Obviously, the last thing you could talk about is, well, hamstrings, you guys. From here to here, this is hamstrings. So how is that going? All right, so that's that. Now, before we warm up, let's look over hand options in Pincha. So we know this one, just hands to the elbows and then take it forward. Now let's just try it before we start the warm up on the floor so we can move once you get going. So bring your forearms to the floor. And then now just take your hands to your elbows to check your distance. And then from here, take the hands forward. So shoulder, elbow rest is a nice line. And then what I like to do and try to, I just go back and forth with the elbows to make sure it's kind of like locked in there, okay? Then the last thing, and you're not gonna think it matters, but it does very much, push your thumb and index down, you guys. Literally like push it down. And same thing in handstands. And now that you have this, because what's touching the floor is what's building your pose, which is your forearms, just push the ground away, guys. Push your forearms into the ground till the body rounds into cap. So again, that front of the body pulls into the back. Then press your thumb and index down. And now isometrically pull your thumbs to one another, you guys. Pull them to one another. And this is the activation that you need to have upside down. Come up for a second, and as I take you to the next one, let's talk. So when I'm here, I'm pushing, do it with me, the forearms into the floor. Handstand is the same way, right? I need to hollow this armpit. So see this? Did this happen? That's what you're gonna look for. Then I'm gonna pull my thumbs like I want them to meet up isometrically towards one another. You notice this engagement? So this fires up, this is locked in, and I'm engaged. So that's how I hold that. Now, if the shoulders are too tight and you're one that displays your elbows out like this, what other options would you have outside of stretching, which we'll do at the end? Well, let's look at it. Interlacing your hands, you guys. So again, go down to all fours. Take your hands to your elbows. And then if you're like, yeah, my elbows go out, just take your hands together and interlace them. And depending on what pose I'm doing, I love this one as well. So stay there for a second. If I'm gonna do like a charging scorpion or hollow back, I will interlace the hands. Okay. So your job, rather than being like, I don't like this, I hate this, blah, 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 you're a human being, have the human experience today. You showed up for this class, so try them. If you've never tried this, but you go like this in full, why not try this? okay? Then the last one that I like is similar, but instead of interlacing, do it with me, is you push your hands together. So the palms are going to the ceiling, and I actually love this one so much. So as you push the hands together, same thing, and you would round. If you struggle pushing the floor away, so you get that straight line and you're always kind of collapsing, this could be a great option. Because of the hands pushing together, it allows more of a lift, all right? So I wanted to start with this little bit longer explanation. Don't have it hurt your head if you're already like, I'm overwhelmed, because you have the replay. So we can get on the same page. So now you understand there's similarities to the handstand, but you're on your forearms. You have to push the floor away still, drop the gaze, engage the butt. But decide, are you gonna be here? Are you gonna be interlaced? Or are you gonna be right here? And you can do all of these, just pushing and understanding front of the body, pulls to the back, all right? Now, of course, yoga teachers, if you line up 10 of them, we're all gonna give you a different opinion. So today you're going with mine. Some students will ask, well, why can't I leave my hands on top, like instead of like this, like this? Some students can. The problem with most students, if you're not choosing shoulder, elbow, rest in a nice line, like I said, when you go up, the elbows tend to go up, and that collapses your foundation, okay? So why give yourself issues? Why give yourself issues? Just pick one and be clear about it. All right, that's the end of the lecture part. So now let's see if we can warm up. Think about what I said, where you are in this journey, and just feel the poses, you guys. Don't overthink it. Just feel and enjoy yourself. All right, let's do it. So starting standing today, obviously shoulders. For most adults, they are tight. So let's open them. Setting our timer, grab a strap. Here we go. Just take the strap and go back and forth. Now notice if the strap is too tight, the neck's gonna wanna lead. It always wants to lead, don't let it. My tightness is more my lower body, my hips. So if you notice, I just kind of move side to side. Would it help you to do that as well? And then from here, we're gonna go just like this. So left hand up, and then back forward, right hand, and forward, and just do this a few times. Right away, notice if this is fluid motion in the shoulders, might sound a little crunchy today. And then our timer's one more, just about to go off. And then we're gonna continue this movement into what I call one way around the world. So left hand up, take it back, right hand and forward, and continue on that side. Left hand, back, right hand forward a few more times. So we're giving our shoulders the best chance that we can with the time that we have today. One more on the side. And then let's switch directions and notice if there's a difference. So right hand up, take it back, left hand and forward. Continue. So for those that don't know me, I learned a handstand started at the age of 4 in Romania. I was a gymnast, should have been in the Olympics, but I chose America. One more. And then let's go back to just this one, front and back, and notice if there's a difference. So handstand I'm very familiar with. I also did not learn forearm balance till 15 years ago when I started yoga. And I was too tight in my shoulders due to anxiety. So know that this is a longer conversation. Anxiety does play a part into your upper body. Just something to think about, okay? One more. Let's release this and put the strap away. So thoracic, you're looking for that straight line. Let's open it. Take your legs hip distance. Go to the wall, take your hands in line with the shoulders. And then just start to go down, and that'll determine where the feet will go. Now, if you feel the lower back tight, just take your feet wider apart. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, bend your knees, go down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale a few times. Exhale. So if you're anxious, like I do, inhale. Exhale. Good time to start breathing. Let's stay down here and just do little bounces. 5. So if you're tight in the shoulders, 4. Here's a great stretch. Everything we've done so far, 3. Whether you want to pincha or take a computer break, two, really good poses to do. And one, release. Now let's start to get into the hamstrings. So do you need to go back and forth for a second and just go the long way onto your mat, take a wide-legged forward fold. I already did this morning. So how do you feel? This is your first forward fold of the day. Do you want to bring your forearms down, release your head? Is that realistic? Could you bend the knees and join me? I just like to go side to side. What are your needs? So notice the forward fold. If the hamstrings, calves are tighter, it's going to affect your ability to fold. And then from here, walk your hands. I'll face this way, turn them away from you, and then just walk them away. When you can no longer walk, you're on fingertips, pull the fingers towards you and the elbows will bend. Could you go in deeper? 5, stay and breathe. 4, would it be helpful to bend your knees right now? 3, release the head. 2, and 1, walk the hands back. Let's keep going, lift halfway up and turn forward. This is gonna be a small stance, step the left foot behind the right foot. And then inhale, bend your knees, the back heel lifts. Exhale, fold, release your head. Would it be helpful to have your hands on blocks? Inhale, bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. How are you feeling? Inhale. Exhale. And then step the left foot up to meet the right. Take the right leg back. Stay on fingertips. Inhale, butt to heels. Exhale, fold, release your head. The legs do not need to go to straight if you're not ready yet. Inhale, bending. Exhale, folding. Inhale, bend. Exhale, fold. Few more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and then step. I keep muting someone, but someone keeps on muting themselves. Okay. I think it's Carlos. Hello, Carlos. Here we go. Okay, let's keep going. So now we're just gonna elongate the lunge a little bit more. Take the left leg back, fingertips or use blocks. Knee down, inhale. So this is stretching out your hip flexor. Here's for your kick up. Exhale, fold, straighten out your legs. If you're more open, flex your front foot, otherwise don't. Inhale, knee down. Exhale, fold. Those side of shoulders, inhale, the challenge is picking up. Exhale. Inhale, how are your hamstrings today? Exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale, fold. And then put the front foot down. If you had it lifted, go back to the center. Notice any difference here in your forward fold. Then stay here and interlace your hands up. Now, as you interlace the hands, you're trying to open your shoulders, tuck the chin to the chest. Would it be helpful to bend your knees? 5. So if you've ever been an athlete, not just an athlete, an artist, anything that gets you in that zone. 4. You don't think, you just feel. 3. I want to get you there before the inversion. 2. So feel the breath, feel your body. Release the hands. 1. Inhale, lift halfway. Let's turn the sequence to the back, so we're lunging. Now, knee down, inhale. How's the hip flexor? Exhale as we fold. Could you flex the front foot? Do you need blocks? So you're gonna pick up. How's your hamstring, your calf? Inhale, bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale, getting that rhythm of the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, moving on. Place the foot flat if you had it lifted and go the long way again. Okay, turn your heels in, toes out, and squat. And then if you're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of hard, bring your hands, fingers down on the thigh. If you're okay, lift and just start to go side to side. Now, you cannot force your legs to go to straight 5. They will if they want to. They'll get there when they get there. 4. So this would be helpful for middle split. 3, but it's helpful for now to open and get our kick up ready. 2. Let's find center. 1, just hold for 3. So look at your hips and your knees. Could you get them close towards the same line? Would it help to do little bounces here? 2, So you guys, I can't teach you everything in the time that I have. Squeeze your butt, engage your butt, whether you're handstanding, pincha, engage your butt. Take an inhale, engage it here. Exhale, parallel your feet, fold. How does it feel? And then let's lift halfway up. Inhale, turn forward again, and forward fold. And then if you can, take your hands in line of the feet. Otherwise, don't worry about it. You could go hip distance. If you need space, join me. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Now let's bend. Inhale, sit as deep as you can. Exhale, fold, release your head. Inhale, just trying to warm up. Exhale, fold. How is that forward fold coming along? Inhale, bending. Exhale, folding. One more, inhale. Exhale, stay how you are. I'm just facing you so you can see. Now let's turn externally, so turn your heels out. Then you guys walk your hands forward as much or as little as you can here. Then again, inhale, bend your knees. If you could walk the hands a little more forward, do so. Otherwise, no. Keep your feet how they are. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend. How does your body feel when you're in external rotation like this? Exhale, fold. Feel more. Inhale, bending. Exhale, folding. And then this time, inhale, bend. Parallel your feet, your back in the fold. Any changes in your forefold? Then let's step it back, plank pose, and bring your knees down. So from here, let's turn our hands back. Even though we're mostly gonna do forearm balance, we may look at some handstands, so let's just warm them up. Then just start to go side to side. If you're more open, you can go front and back, and as you go back, bend the elbow like I'm doing. 4, another great rest stretch for 3, people that own computers. 2, let's look at some spinal waves. 1, so from here, inhale, keep your hands going to cow. So when you're collapsing, let's stay here for a second in your handstand or your forearm balance, it's because you're in cow, you guys. Do you see how the lower back and the ribs are going towards the floor? That's the opposite of everything I want you to do. So push the floor away, begin to round into cow. Squeeze your butt, pull the navel in. So this is much better. You want to look for this in handstands and forearm balance. Inhale, cow. Don't do this unless you're warming up. Exhale, cat. Squeeze the butt, do this. Inhale. Create a little blueprint in your mind. Exhale, round, squeeze the butt. One more, inhale. Exhale, round. So stay rounded, turn the hands forward. And now let's look at the same thing, but on our forearms, since that's the pose we're looking at today. So bring your forearms down. Then take a second, you guys, and think, how are you gonna do this today? With the hands in line of the shoulders? Are you interlacing or pushing them together? Make a decision and just play with one now. Then inhale into cow. Notice how different it feels because of center of gravity. Push the floor away to the forearms, begin to round into cat. Squeeze your butt, really push the floor away. Then guys, do you remember that stacking? Can you look at your shoulders and take them over your elbows, you guys? Drop the gaze to the knees. Inhale, cow. Now, if you're collapsed in your forearm balance, I guarantee you're doing this. So let's fix it. Push the floor away to the forearms. Push the ground away. Keep doing that. Squeeze your butt. Look at your shoulders. Take your shoulders over your elbows and drop the gaze to the knees. Squeeze, you guys. So I'm faking and I'm pretty strong. Anytime you get overwhelmed today, go back to this. This is your blueprint. One more together. Inhale, cow. Not good. Not good, not good, not good. Now let's fix it. Exhale. Push the floor away to the forearms. Stomach and ribs and squeeze the butt. Stack, meaning take your shoulders over your elbows. Then keep this, you guys. Touch your toes, walk in dolphin. So like I said, dolphin, I think took me 7 years of yoga to do. If you feel tight, join me. Feet as wide as your mat or wider. That's where I started. Then lift your heels up and bend your knees. I'm right here if you get lost. With bend knees, push your chest back to your thighs. So I know this takes us out of stacking, but the intent here is flexibility. Look at your toes, release your gaze. If you're more open, drive your heels down, you guys, like straight. Otherwise, don't. 5. Hold that. I want to come watch because you'll give me an idea of what I'm working with today. 4. Now, can you breathe as you hold this and imagine yourself with your legs up? That's your forearm balance. 3. Good. Release that neck. 2. Could you still push the floor away? Don't lose that connection. Nice. 1, and come on down. Good job. So we're as warm as we're going to be with the time that we have. Let's put our socks on and start with the first drill. So how I like to teach is like, okay, let's have a conversation of what we're doing today, forearm balance. We talked about the hands, the obstacles, and then I like to build it from the ground up. So your talk is now going to come live. So one of the things we talked about is both handstands and pincha is not being behind, right? Shoulders over in forearm balance. Hips over shoulders, shoulders over elbows. Then can your shoulders support you? And sometimes the answer is not yet. So let's look at the body understanding this and check in with your strength, all right? Watch one and then we'll do it together. So I've already talked shoulders, elbows, rest, or interlace or push together. Which one are you doing? We know not to collapse or pushing the ground away, creating a really strong calf. Release your toes. If you have sensitive feet, take a blanket underneath. Not this, you guys. Engage your butt to your heels, okay? One line of energy. Inhale. Exhale, pull yourself forward. Push yourself back. Pull yourself forward. Push yourself back. So you're building the strength, both for your forearm balance and your handstand, and you're understanding this happening from here and then the lift, okay? If I'm back here, well, then I'm gonna take a Netflix film, all right? Let's do it. So I'll do one with you guys, and then I'll come watch. So let's bring the forearms down. Make a decision about, out of the 3 choices I gave you, which one you're doing here. Then you guys just push the ground away so the front of the body pulls to the back. Squeeze your butt. It's how you stabilize everything. Keep the toes how they are and take them back. Ask yourself again, is my butt engaged to my heels? Now pull yourself forward so your shoulders are over your elbows. Push yourself back so the shoulders are behind the elbows. Pull yourself forward and push yourself back. Good. Could you do 3 more? Pull forward. Are you breathing? Engage your body and push it back. Good. Pull it forward and push it back. Carlos, something on your end. Pull it forward. Good. And push it back. Yep. And come on down. So Denise asked at the end, can I show how to change from handstand to pincha? I'm not sure I understand your question. Like a handstand into pincha? I'm not sure. Okay. So now we're gonna take a second. What do you feel like you need to do? You're already using strength. As I demo in between, you maybe want to take your strap and do some shoulder rolls. So here's what's gonna happen. Because of time, we can do 3 sets, but I want to look at it in a handstand so you can understand. So the handstand, like we talked about, the arms are straight, right? Watch one and then you'll do it. But same rules apply, you guys. I don't want to be here, so we start here to know what not to do. We push the floor away through the hands. Front of the body pulls to the back. I engage my butt, I release. And now the rest have to go over the heel of the hand and then push it back. Pull it forward and then push it back. So you get to decide, do you feel like you want to try in a handstand so you begin to understand with straight arms? Or would you like to repeat this because that is the focus of today, okay? Completely up to you, but the alignment's the same. So I'll walk you through it. Are you gonna bring your forearms down again? Or are you going on the hands? Look at the similarities in both poses, collapse into cow. Now, whether it's through the hands or the forearms, push the ground away, pull the stomach and the ribs up to the ceiling. Squeeze your butt. Extend the legs back. From there, take an inhale. In both, exhale, pull yourself forward. Inhale, push yourself back. Exhale, pull yourself forward. Good. Inhale, push yourself back. So we do 2 more. Exhale, pull forward, tuck the chin to the chest. Good. Inhale, push it back. 1 more. Pull forward. Good. And push it back. Nice. Okay, so some of you are doing your own thing. That's cool, but maybe you could do that in your own time. So over here, Try to understand why we're doing this, because sometimes the ego wants to go to the next step and you're missing the most crucial thing, guys. You have to understand what's touching the floor. That's what matters the most. So see how that went. And then from there, what do you have to do to actually take it into Pincha, which is where some of you guys were really wanting to go. So here's your challenge. You're here, but a forearm balance is here, right? So before we start to drag it like this, let's take our socks off and do one that most of us need before we get to this one. So watch. Now, as you start to walk in, you guys, this is the heaviest part of the body. And I'm asking this to go over this. That's a lot. So that's why you have to push out, okay? So decide which hand position you're doing. And not this, right? Take an inhale. And think, I gotta stack my hips over my shoulders over my elbows. Walk in. If it's a hamstring issue, take your feet wider. Push. So I'm just on 2 big toes. Walk it back out. Ask yourself, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Engage. Walk in, feel the hips go over the shoulders over the elbows. You guys, when I'm pressing is nothing, because look in my foundation, okay? Walk it back. All right, let's go. So I'll start you off and then I'm gonna come watch. Decide your hand positioning. The biggest part of the body has to go over a much smaller part of the body. So push the ground away here, front of the body lifts up to the ceiling. Squeeze your butt, walk your legs back. Now take an inhale. Exhale, begin to stack. So walk in. Feel if your hamstrings are a problem, give your legs more space. Did the hips go over the shoulders? Did the shoulders go over the elbows? Maintain that, stay on your tippy toes. Yeah, could you imagine your legs being up in the air, you guys? That's your forearm balance. Now walk your legs back. Good, are you breathing? When you walk back, re-squeeze the butt, take an inhale. Exhale, begin to walk your feet in again. Feel the hips over the shoulders over the elbows. Notice it's easier to collapse, push the ground away, go up to your tippy toes, you guys. Go up to your tippy toes, hydrogen. Walk your legs back again, one more time. Keep breathing so you stay in the zone. Hi, Cicely. Take an inhale, squeeze the butt. Good, exhale, walk in again. This time I'm gonna hold, you guys. So could you go all the way up to your big toes? Nice. Could you imagine your legs up in the air? 5. Good. Where do you feel like you might be collapsing? 4. Do you need to push the ground away more? Do you need to squeeze your butt? 3. Good. 2. And 1. And release. Good job. Nice. So as I demo, what is it that you need to do? So again, should you grab the strap and do some shoulder rolls? You guys, we don't have enough time for me to counterpose you. So stay open, or do you need a hamstring stretch? And I'll show you. So now you're having a better understanding, I hope, that, all right, I am understanding some base here. I know if my shoulders are weak or tight. I know I have to push away. I know I have to engage the butt. It's the biggest part of the body. You're starting to build this. So on a handstand, we don't have enough time to do it all today, but it would be the same thing. Hips over shoulders over rest. You're on the tippy toes. Press becomes very realistic. Okay, so put your socks on. And then I'll do one and you'll do it. Some of you were trying to go here. I don't like skipping steps because foundation is so important, you guys. So don't go to the end, keep staying at the beginning. So you know all of this. You're gonna push away, engage the butt, take it back. Now you're gonna slide. I'm inhaling here and I'm just thinking hips over shoulders over wrist, shoulders over elbows. Now, again, what if it's a hamstring issue? Meet the body where it's at. Inhale and lift. The closer I get to the top, you guys, the more I have to push the floor away, okay? Because it's very easy to do this. And we want to push the floor away. That's the strength builder. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So learn how to isolate before you give the freedom to the legs to go upside down. So bring your forearms down, decide which hand version you are doing. From there, just think, my butt has to go over my shoulders. So as you take the legs back, engage your butt, you guys. Take an inhale. Exhale, slide up. If sliding is not available yet, who cares? Go back to walking up. Good. Did the shoulders go over the elbows? That's your goal. Nice. Inhale, slide it back. Release your gaze, you guys. You want to stay looking at the feet. Exhale, slide up. Good pull. Get the hips over the shoulders over the elbows. Can you push the ground away? Keep your head off the ground. Good, Erin. Inhale, slide it back. Yeah, it's not as easy as you think, right? By the time you get to Pincha, you're like, where's Savasana? Exhale, slide up. Nice. Now, can you hold it up there, you guys? Just hold it on your tippy toes. Yeah, could you manually walk up a little bit more? Good, Kim. 4. Now ask the questions. Could I drop the gaze more? 3. Could I push the floor away? 2. Good. And 1. And release. Yeah, this stuff's not so easy, is it? But it's very, I know some of you are like, ooh, yeah, the shoulders are on fire. So again, what do you need to do as I demo? So this is my regular class. We would do these drills, each one about 3 times through, so you get an understanding. Right now, with the time that I have, I'm trying to just give you a clear picture of how you build your pincha, okay? So I'm gonna take my socks off. You can take yours off for now and look at the next one. So the problem when you're starting to have, it seems like a little bit, is being able to maintain the stacking, you guys. And it's the same thing that it's what makes the press handstand so hard, or a correct kick up. It's not going from back here, but it's getting the shoulders already in line with, okay? So in handstand, same thing, you'd want to hold something like this. So that's what we're gonna look at now. You can use blocks, you can use something higher, you guys. It could be a couch, it could be something higher than blocks if you needed to get the stacking, and I'll show you what I mean. So again, stacking, like I said at the beginning, just means in a handstand, hips over shoulders, shoulders over wrists. Forearms, it's hips over shoulders and shoulders over elbows. So I want to hold this so we don't kick up like crazy. So the blocks the low way work, the blocks the medium way work, or more. Do you know if your hamstrings are tight hip distance or go wider, okay? So decide on your hands and then walk, whether you hip distance or wider. And begin to rock back and forth, resisting the head to go on the floor. So I'm stacking each time I'm here. I'm imagining my legs going up, but I first need to understand what's touching the floor. All right? So inhale, exhale. Inhale, resist the floor. Exhale, inhale. Imagine you're doing this. Okay? Let's get a few of good foundations like so. And then we can lift the leg and begin to think about kicking, having a better understanding of the job of the shoulder. Okay, so do you know that you have tight hamstrings? If so, don't go hip distance, so much wider. Think straddle is a better base for you. Decide what hand positioning you're doing. Got it, Janine. And then from there, just step up on your object that you chose. Now, just think, you guys, the more you can walk your feet up to the hands, the easier it will be to go up. So if you can compress yourself more, do so. Now just rock back and forth. Take an inhale, exhale, rock forward, push the floor away. Inhale, heels down. Exhale, rock forward. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, heels down. Exhale, rock it forward. Good, inhale, heels down. Exhale, rock forward. Now putting hold. So go up to your tippy toes. Squeeze your butt like crazy. Push the ground away like crazy. Keep the gaze at the feet. 3, good, Nita. Imagine yourself in Pincha. 2, how's your breathing? Good, Hannah. And 1, and slowly come on down. Good job, you guys. So again, I'm gonna demo, what are you feeling? How do you need to counterpose yourself? So if you're in the Facebook group, you saw this demo. If not, it's on my YouTube. I wanna now start to lift the leg, but I still want us to have some responsibility. So rather than just freestyle kick it, I wanna use the wall. And again, you guys, this is the gaze. Can't cover everything. Your gaze, if it's forward, you're in cow. So your neck and your gaze will follow each other, meaning you do this. Most people in their handstands, they just need to drop the gaze and push the floor away, okay? So I don't want to run into this problems in the forearm balance because it will look the same. If your gaze is forward, you're in cow, right? And what have we been trying to do? Cat. Push the ground away, pull the front of the body in, squeeze the butt, drop the gaze, okay? So if you're collapsed, I guarantee you're doing this. Push it away and drop the gaze. All right, so keep that in mind. And now you can begin to set up with me. So you're just gonna go to the wall and measure. You're just measuring a leg. It's not a perfect measure, you guys, so you have to adjust a little. Kind of where your butt is, just take, make a marker in your head, turn around. And you'd bring your forearms there. Now just watch, please. So then decide, which hand position are you doing? I'm gonna choose to interlace. And then from here, go up. So my gaze is at my feet the whole time. And the first thing I ask myself is, am I collapsed? Could I push the floor away more? Can I engage my butt? See this? Great, awesome. Stay if you need to, or you're still gonna look at the feet, lift the leg. Okay, not past the hip, you guys, lift it straight up to the ceiling. Squeeze the butt and push to the ceiling. If you're going okay, things are going okay, then look up at your leg. Then you can go and do a few of these. This is essentially what you did on your forearms. The previous drill, you're just upside down. If you wish, but not yet. Okay, so I'll do the first side with you so you don't get so overwhelmed. All right, here we go. So you've done everything up to this, you guys. So have the confidence that you understand, because you do. So here you are, we're measuring. Look at where your butt is, turn around. Bring your forearms down around that area. Decide what you're doing with the hands, and then just do it with me. Let's go. Already push the ground away to the forearms, pull your stomach and ribs in, squeeze the butt. Then lift your knees up. I stayed here for 7 years to open up my shoulders. You could stay, or take one leg up hip level, then the other. Now you guys engage your butt, push the ground away. Stay or lift your left leg up. The gaze is at the right toes. If you're feeling fine, look up at your left toes. Could you squeeze the butt and push everything towards the ceiling? The leg, that is, push the forearms to the ground. Stay. Could you go up to the right tippy toes? 5. Just stay and maintain. 4. Coming to watch. How's your breathing? Push the leg up, pull. 3. Good job. 2. Nice, you guys. Good, Kim. And 1, slowly lower. Wanna watch the top leg. Pretty good, you guys. The biggest thing you're gonna have, again, do what you need to before we do the second side, is your top leg. And again, that's why I can't cover everything, but some of your top leg was going over. Therefore, my gaze is gonna chase my leg. Okay. So if you watched yourself, instead of pushing up, you are doing this. It doesn't feel good on the lower back at all. I have absolutely no engagement, you guys. So over and over, it's quite simple. Am I in cow? Could I be in cat? So that's why I said, could you see your right toes? Okay. So come to a force, please. And again, you don't want to overthink. You want to begin to feel. So on your forearms, go into cow. And just ask yourself, was I doing my forearm balance like this? Was my stomach going towards the floor? Look forward. Was my gaze forward? You feel heavy and you feel like it's impossible. So let's fix it. All I wanted to do is push the floor away to the forearm. As you do that, the stomach and ribs should want to pull in. Now squeeze your butt. Drop the gaze towards your knees. Keep pushing the floor away, squeezing the butt. Squeeze the butt, squeeze the butt. Were you doing this? And release. So you guys, it's quite simple. It seems like it's so complicated, but it's not. You can do it here. Handstand, go like this. Same thing, push forward. Squeeze your butt, okay? Then go like this. That's cow, not good. Forearms, go like this. And then if you're interlacing, do that. Same thing, all I want you to do is pretend there's a wall right here to forearms, push forward. Squeeze your butt. That's all you're doing, okay? So I'm gonna come watch the second side, but again, how does it translate? Here it is. See your feet. I didn't measure it, so measure first. Look at the feet. Ask yourself, is my butt in cow because it's not engaged? Yeah. Why do I want to make it harder for myself? I don't. Engage your butt. Floor away. Leg up. Not here, just straight up. Okay, hold. Or keep going. This is all coming from my base, guys. Why I spend so much time on basics. Everybody wants to go do that. That comes from this and engaging. All right, your turn. So sit down and measure the wall with your leg. Notice where your butt is. Turn around, bring your forearms there. Yes, Sylvie, that's true on what you said. And very good. You want to feel it there. I'm trying not to tell you everything, but that's a good one. Yep. From there, as you go up to your toes, good Aaron. Push your top leg up. Then you guys squeeze your butt. We've all been in traffic before and you have to go to the bathroom. You know that feeling. Squeeze your butt like crazy. Good. Nice. Now imagine having both legs up. Already better. Drop the gaze, guys. Where are your feet? Look at your feet. Look at your feet. Holding. 3. Good, Nancy. Good, Amanda. 2. Better, Mona, but more butt squeeze. And 1. And slowly lower. Oh, clapping emojis. Much better. Much better. Much better. Good job. So individually, sit and think about it for a second. Why, to me, the second side looked better? So what was it I said that clicked for you that made that more engaged, okay? Next on my board, let's see, dolphin with the leg. Okay, so because we're getting closer towards the end, I want to give you the freedom to kick up, but usually I don't do that with my students until a little bit later because when you have freedom, as you know in life, you have more responsibility. So just like a handstand or anything, it's the going from the floor is your last step, you guys. So you have to think, what is the base of this pose? Okay, and it's stacking those hips over the shoulders over the elbows. And on top of that, how is your standing split? Because that's what the leg goes through. So how many blocks should you stack to give yourself a chance to do this? And this is what I mean. If you're going up from back here, we know you're not going to go up. You're just going to do this the whole time. Okay. So how do you go up? Stacking. What does stacking mean? Hips over shoulders, shoulders over elbows. If you do that from here, or would it help to elevate your bottom foot? So here we go. Get close enough to the wall where you feel safe, and I would suggest either bring your fingers against the wall or your knuckles against the wall, all right? And then from there, again, walk in. And let's say this is your full capacity of walking in. This time, we're gonna take the right foot. I'm just demoing on the other side so you can see on your block. And you don't have to pick up. You could just simply lean, go to the tippy toes, come back down. What does this feel like? You're not in a rush. Inhale. Exhale, lean. And bring it back. Or inhale. So leg on the block is already bent. Exhale, go up. Okay, don't kick the crap out of the wall. Go slowly. Have your legs meet. Get your toes together. Look at the back of the mat. If the back of the mat is going okay, guys, look at your feet. Okay, but definitely don't do this. So shoulders in line with the arms, back of the mat, great place to start. Squeeze the butt and push towards the ceiling. Hey, how do you feel? Or lift the leg. Okay, start to play. Going well, keep your toes together and lift. So if I take a stick, which I have on the side because I own a lot of land, from your forearms down here to your feet, it would be a straight line, okay? This is what you have to feel, you guys. The forearm, push like you want to make a hole through the floor. Your feet engage and lift them like they could touch the ceiling. And that is your straight line everything. All right, your turn. So depending how your body and your hamstrings are today, How many blocks do you need to stack to get the hips over the shoulders? That's your question for whatever object would work for you. From there, bring either your fingertips or your knuckles against the baseboard. And then begin to walk in. You want to compress the best that your body can today, so walk in till you no longer can. Then place one foot on your object, your prop. Take an inhale. Exhale, simply lift the other leg to standing split or do a little kick up and go up. Good. If you didn't go up, just think of what I told you. The hips need to go over the shoulders. Go, Elena. The shoulders over the elbows. Nice. For those that are up, look at the back of your mat. Good, Pascal. If that's easy, then look at your feet. Squeeze your butt like you're in the worst traffic. You're an hour from home and you have to pee really bad. 5. Hold it. Good, Luciana. 4. Engage your feet. Reach for the ceiling. 3. Kim, squeeze your butt. You 2. Pull. 2. Good. And 1. Slowly lower. Nice. Well, this is when you're like, stuff started happening and I gotta be like, all right, goodbye. Namaste. Nice to meet you. So let's stand up for a second. Okay, you guys, you're doing great. But again, like, how can I possibly teach you a whole pose in 60 minutes? You can't, but what have you learned so far? If someone got in an elevator with you today and said, hey, how did you spend your Saturday? You're like, oh, I was learning Pincha. What is that? It's a forearm balance. How do I get there? Well, you push the floor away, you squeeze the butt. When you have to stack, how do I stack? And this is where some of you lost it. I'll demo the other side. Oh, stacking just means getting the hips over the shoulders over the elbows in a forearm balance. How do I do that? Well, you go down to your forearms. You decide which version you're doing. You walk in. Can't walk in anymore? Place the leg. Inhale. Exhale. How do I feel? Inhale. Good. Okay. Exhale. Kick up slowly. Release the gaze. Squeeze the butt. Engage the feet. Okay, she said a stick, a straight line from my forearms to my feet. She said push the forearms into the ground like you want to make a hole. I'm going to do that. Just squeeze your butt like crazy. Don't do that. Engage your feet. Reach the feet to the ceiling. I'm going to do that. Wow, I feel so stable. What else could I do? So some of you lost it right here in your butt. You disengage your booty. So let's stand, please, and look at this. Come on, stand up. So just stand up, stick your butt out. Essentially, you would be in cow, right? We want to get to cat. So this is you upside down. What do? Engage your butt. So do you guys see the butt goes to the heels? That's the cue. Okay. Take it out again. Engage it. Is it going to the heels? Then the stomach pulls in, the ribs want to pull in. Okay. All this should be hard. One more, disengage. You can check it, it's your butt. Engage it to your heels. Ribs in. Now, take your hands. Think about how we started. Keep this engaged, your butt. Push the forearms forward. You have that hollowing of the armpit, okay? Now, remember that whole talk? Pull your elbows towards one another and engage this. Push your thumb and index down if you're making that version, okay? So all that has to be engaged. This is why the first drill, where did we start? Here. Here, you guys. If you're practicing your yoga, like plank pose like this, it's gonna show up, but the heel. All right, well, fix it. Let's go second side. Go through it like I just went through it. It's a checklist. You're the student and the teacher. So on your second side, how many blocks do you need to be able to kick up? Bring your fingers or your knuckles against the baseboard. Go through it like I did. Walk in till you no longer can. Good. Place the opposite foot on a block. Inhale. Now you got to stack. Exhale as you lift the leg. Literally say to yourself, hips over shoulders, shoulders over elbows. Good. Rock back and forth or kick up slowly. Then what do? I push the ground away to the forearms. Good, Sanji. Squeeze your butt so you feel it go to your heels. Nice, Elena. Engage your feet to the ceiling. 5. Good, Nancy. Look at the back of the mat or look up at your feet. 4. Good, Paul. Are your fingers touching your baseboard? 3. Hold it. Good. 2. And one. Nice, Dorinda. Slowly lower. Nice, Julia. Good job, you guys. Looking pretty good. Good job. Okay, I'm looking at the time and I'm like on the board. I'm like, what can I take out? What can I still do? Stretch for a second as you need to. And then I want to do this just for fun. So again, you keep understanding the similarity. So you guys, the handstand, same thing, right? What's the difference? Just center of gravity here versus here, but the stacking is exactly the same. If you're not making it up, you're back here. Hips over shoulder, shoulders over wrist. If you struggle to kick up from the floor, what would you do? Same as your forearm balance, stack some blocks. Repeat your pincha like we've been doing, or if you wish, I'm not going to worry about how you go up, just so you see it, go up, and get as close to the wall as you can. So if you need to manually walk in, do that. Do the same thing, you guys. Push the floor away, squeeze your butt to your heels, toes together. Look at the back of the mat and same thing to say, if I had a stick, would you be in the same line? So push away more, engage the butt more. Look at the back of the mat or the feet. Stay. Or could you pull up the same way? So stay here because the arms are straight. You have more space from hip to armpit, you guys. Here, if you're tighter, you don't. That's why it's easier to do that. Okay. So just for understanding reasons, do you want it to repeat the pincha? Do you want to go up to a handstand? Alignment's the same. If you're going to go up to a handstand, walk in as close as you can. For pincha, fingers or knuckles touching the baseboard. Good. Now understand the similarities. Go up. Once you're up, you're either pushing the floor away to the hands in a handstand. You're pushing the floor away, good Lynn, with the forearms to the pinchas. My English is getting worse. Must be 60 minutes. Good. Engage your butt. Look at the back of the mat, good pull, or look at your feet. 5. If you're not going up, you know why. 4. Aaron, drop the gaze. You got to stack. 3. Really good, Renata. Get off that wall. 2. Good job. And 1. Good, Julia. Slowly lower. Good job. I count pretty slow. Okay, one more thing, and then I'll let you go. So I mentioned this at the beginning, like I've been teaching yoga for 15 years, but I was a gymnast for a long time. So I've been doing some sort of movement for like 26 years, grab a block. I was like the last generation where gymnastics was really good in Romania because the communism fell right after. So they would test you. I swear to God, when you came out of your mother's womb, they would test you. And this is your pose. Oh, they waited actually till you got to preschool, and they literally came to your preschool to see if you had the chance of becoming a gymnast, and that's how I got there. In all of this that you're trying to do, so you know what you're doing, the straight line, as a gymnast, you don't do any of these poses. You do drills and drills and drills to understand this line. So this line is called a hollow body position. Oh, do it with me. It's so much fun. Take your feet on a block like so. Lie back. Then you guys struggle with that cow pose, right? So with the hands overhead here, I want you to squeeze your butt till you feel the lower back go down to your mat. So you're in cow, and you should be shaking. Now lift the leg. So again, the lower back is to the mat. Look at your foot. Lift the other leg, toes together. Check your butt. It should be hard. Then shoulders to ears. This would be a handstand. Now rock back and forth slowly. You're rocking so little, your heels shouldn't even touch the block. I'm gonna come watch. Then in Romania, communist times, keep going. You would have someone actually push your feet down and you had to resist that. So imagine. Good. 5. What part are you losing right now? So you're not doing a sit up, Aaron, you're rocking. 4. So are your feet engaged? Is the butt still engaged? 3. Good. Some of you are totally remixing this pose. 2. Good job. And 1. Give yourself a hug. Nice. Good. So I'm going to cool you down, but you just had a better understanding of this hollow body. I want to come watch for just about 30 seconds to see how you guys are doing. Would you like to take this knowledge that you learned and put it up into your handstand? Get close. Expect to hold it. There's the wall. Or same exact thing, just on your forearms. Whoa. squeeze and hold. Okay. If you have this base, you guys, you can add any variation you want on top of it. Okay, just coming to watch. 30 seconds of playtime. Then go through it like you're the student and the teacher. Whether it's the handstand or the forearms, the same. Push the ground away through what's touching the floor. We're all human beings, so where we protect the lower back is through the glutes. Good, your liberate, engage your butt. Don't let the feet go dead. They matter. Reach them up to the ceiling. Good, 5. In both variations, you guys, I shouldn't count. It's your playtime. Good, Kim. Look at your back of the mat. Good. If that's going well, good, Renata. Then look at your feet. Good, Denise, drop your gaze. Nice. Are you in a straight line of energy? Good. Just so you know, for those that have been up there, you're at 40 seconds already. Nice. Does anyone want to stay for a minute? Let's see. Yeah, some of you are still up. 50 seconds. Good, Nancy. 10 to go. Nice, Lynn. Really good. 5. Good pull. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Good job. So just want to show you the possibility of 2 things. I teach a live monthly membership. That's why I do this workshop. So we change the theme slightly every month. Right now we're finishing toe taps and L press, and next we're gonna do forearm balance. We're starting on Tuesday. So you're getting like, it's overwhelming, I think, to come in here if you don't know me for 60 minutes and you're like, drop the gaze, engage the butt, get a straight line. It's a lot being thrown at you, okay? So if you want to spend a month learning how to do this and get personal feedback, check your email tomorrow. But I'm so big on foundation and alignment. So some of my students are like, when are we going to do hollow backs? They want to do hollow backs. And I'm trying to get them, just like you guys, to do all the things I'm teaching you. How do you push the floor away? How do you engage the butt? How do you drop the gaze? Because whether it's a forearm balance or this, you guys, you need a straight line. Once you have the straight line and you master these gazes, look, here's the hollow back. You can do whatever the hell you wish, right? Same alignment, it looks so different. How am I talking and holding this? Because I wasn't in a rush to do this. And also I had good coaches to give me feedback on what I'm doing. All right. So don't overlook the basics. I think I struggled with this as a teacher so much that it's boring. Have you understood how to do this, you guys? Like when you're brushing your teeth, doing something, start to do this. Have you understood the difference between this and this, right? Versus what it just feels to push the ground over. Do you understand how a cat, you're doing cat versus cow? Do you understand how cow gets you here and injured and how cat gets you here? So nothing is too hard and you're not too old, too fat, none of that. It's just taking the time to go, what am I doing? Do I understand how to put this pose together? What are my strengths here and what are my weaknesses? Okay, don't give up, just keep dissecting the pose. You have the replay, you can always redo it. Let's cool down. So 2 shoulder stretches. The stuff we start off with the straps, I love that. You have tight shoulders, that's a good one to do. The other ones I teach in almost every class is let's stand up. It's like a wool puppy dog. So from here, I'm gonna set our timer. Walk your hands up. Then start to pull the heel of the hand down. I'm right here if you get lost. So you no longer can. So as I'm pulling the heel of the hand down, that's determining where my feet are gonna, how my feet are gonna walk out. When you no longer can pull the heel of the hand down, you guys, if your lower back feels tight, take your feet as wide as the mat. Take your butt out a lot because you're isolating the thoracic. And now just start a little bounces. And then if your shoulders are screaming and need help, bend your knees. The 2 things I never liked in life, computer work and sales. Keep going. And since COVID, I've been forced to do both. Stay there and do little bounces. So computer work, I always do this pose to release the shoulders. But I love teaching so much that I'll do anything to still teach. Good, from here, start to come on up. You need to go back and forth. And just so you guys know, you held that for a minute, okay? Now to give the shoulders a break and open up the hamstrings, this is how I did it. Just 1 minute, 4 fold. Go the long way onto your mat and take a 4 fold. I'll do it from this side in case you need to see it. Now, could you bring the forearms down? For me, the answer was no, so I used to bring my forearms on block. For those that are feeling more open, I'm right here. If you need a visual, take your hands to your elbows. Begin to walk your elbows back in line with the heels or even past it. Release your head fully. So 4 folds are going to help you greatly to be able to have a better standing split. Notice in the fold as you release the neck, it should feel nice for the lower back. And you guys, they keep saying like, engage your butt. And when I did yoga, everyone told me not to engage my butt. And I eventually hurt my back really, really, really bad. So upside down, keep engaging your glutes so your lower back is safe. Our minute is up. Let's come on up and then just go down to the knees. So outside of the strap and the wall pose you just did, my third variation that I teach also every class is this one. The first stage, if you're tighter, you're going to go to the wall like this, and you're just going to take your hands up. And then watch your elbows. You guys pull your elbows down. Now, for those that are feeling more open, go all the way down to your stomach. Keep your head close to the wall, setting a 1 minute timer, and walk your hands up. As you walk the hands up again, release your head down. Notice if the elbows want to flare out. It's a huge problem in your handstands. Pull your elbows down. Release the head fully. Do you need to maybe take it towards the right and the left? Other things to observe again, if the lower back is tight, keep your feet wider apart. Breathe. I mentioned this at the beginning. Yeah, I stayed in dolphin for 7 years. My shoulders were tight, not really from life, from a lack of breath and anxiety. So just notice right here, if it's hard for you to breathe, don't avoid it, do exactly that. As adults, life has kicked our ass a little bit at times. We don't always properly breathe, so we end up holding stress here. Our minute is coming to an end. Just come off the wall and let's roll over to our back. So compression is a huge thing too. Just here, draw your thighs to the chest. Notice the more you could walk in your dolphin, it's easier to kick up both in dolphin and handstand if the feet are closer to the hands. So from here, just take your forearms and interlace them on top of the knees. If that's too much, just do this, hands on top of knees. And now you guys just investigate. Are you able, whether the knees are together, hip distance, to keep thighs and chest together? How comfortable does that feel for your hips? So this is one way to work compression. Would it be helpful to go side to side to create a little bit of movement? And then if you're like, well, this is still hard, what would you do? Let's go to the next pose, but also give you an alternative. Keep the right leg in, left leg. You just do one leg at a time. I do this probably every morning. Let's start to twist, so just twist to the left. As you twist, do you want to extend the right leg to straight? Do you want to grab the opposite leg? Up to you. Upside down, we always want to keep navel to spine, the engagement, but here, breathe normally. Let the belly relax. And let's begin to come back to the center. So if we had more time, just for a second, give it a hug. See if you can keep thigh to chest and extend the right leg up. We're not gonna hold just for a second. So you guys, do you see how this is your kick up right here? So if you struggle with standing split, a great way to work it is supine like this. Okay, let's switch sides, give it a hug, right leg to the mat. Left thigh to the chest, and just remember, if you struggle with compression, meaning walking hands and feet together, here's a great way to open this. Let's twist to the right and decide, do you want to have the left leg straight should you grab the opposite leg? As adults, we need an extra day in the schedule. It's like, how do I build strength, flexibility, have a job, clean the house? It's a lot to do, but not impossible. Even 1 minute a day in a pose can help. Let's come back to the center, give the left leg a hug. And just for a second, can you keep thigh and chest together and begin to extend the leg up? Here's your kick up. Here's a great way to work supine splits if you struggle. And then we're going to end with this pose right here. Just take both legs up. If you know you're going to do legs up at the wall, your final pose, turn yourself to one. Otherwise, just 1 minute right here. This pose to me is non-negotiable. Every day I do 10 minutes of legs up at the wall. You can take hands to the stomach or overhead for a gentle stretch. Has many benefits. It stretches out the hamstrings gently, releases the lower back, calms the nervous system, energizes tired feet because we stand on them all day. Just taking note here with the eyes closed, out, close your hamstrings and your lower back feet. You're coming towards the end of class. If you have the luxury of time, stay longer. Otherwise, take anything else you need to take. And then choose a pose that you can let the body and the mind relax for a few minutes. Very good work today. Thanks for joining me. Until we meet again, may we all be at peace.